Okay, today on the workbench we've got this Astro Boy Jeep. I've purposely not crimped the body back on so I can take it off to show you how things are made in there. But obviously sent to me because it wasn't working, wasn't running, couldn't steer it. You know, on your remote you do have a steering wheel, which is a cable control, which comes up to the front wheel. So let's take the body off. Like I say, I just got it sent on there for the opening shot. You have to line up all the little metal tabs. So we have to try to gingerly persuade all of these little bits to come off. Come on, come on. There we go. So you got your body. Let's set the body up there. So the vinyl covering for the remote cable originally was a green, but it was in multiple pieces and it's completely solid, so it just would crack and break. And of course, everywhere that it was broken little pieces meant there was a kink in the wire. You see, there's a fine little wire that comes up to control the steering on the front wheel. Let's see if I flip this way. Well, yeah, let's start this way so you can kind of maybe see the wheel. And if we turn this, see how the wheel is moving left and right. Don't want to move it too much. From the top, then it's going to look like this. So you can see how that is moving, which moves the wheel. And, well, let's take this part apart. I haven't glued this back on yet. When you get these, this part is almost always glued on, which is a hard part to deal with when you're trying to do the repair, because you don't want to break anything more than's already broken. All right. So you can see there's a large gear there, the two buttons. Then in here you've got this piece here that the large gear is meant to move back and forth, which is pushing and pulling on the cable. So in order to replace all of that, you've got to completely take, well, everything apart. But to be able to fasten your new vinyl cable in, you have to be able to get in under the switch, because there's a crimp eyelet that goes there. In this particular case, I didn't disassemble all of the switch stuff just to do that. I ended up having to disassemble the switch stuff because there was no electrical connection between this, and you can see I've got a screw here now. Originally there was an aluminum rivet that came all the way up to the top here and then was flattened. But electrically, there was no connection between this and this. So I'm assuming that the aluminum had oxidized. I know putting aluminum against steel apparently causes some sort of problems in the long term. At any rate, I had to remove that, and I ended up replacing it with a very small 256 screw to get it back in there. So I'd take that one out, and then the front one was conducting, but I needed to remove that so I could get underneath there. So remove the original aluminum rivet there as well and put in another screw for that. And that allows you to take this whole switch assembly up and out of the way so that you can get inside to run the vinyl cover up in there and crimp that little rivet piece that's on there. And then, of course, the original piano wire that's in there wouldn't move freely through the flex cable, and so that had to be replaced. There were bents and kinks everywhere that the original green stuff was broken off, meant it got bent, and that put a bend into the fine wire, and it was binding and not wanting to move, so that has to be replaced. Other problem with this was this front hinge. This plastic piece here was cracked off, so there was no support. There was only the rear one holding, and the front one was flapping in the breeze. So I had to remove the hinge pins. In this case, they're plastic. Many times it's a rivet, which makes it harder to take apart. Remove the plastic ones so I could get the whole back up and out of the way, so I could re-glue what was left of this hinge piece back onto here. Now, being that in this case this is like a styrene type plastic, I was able to use styrene plastic glue, because you can't super glue this little piece of plastic onto there and expect it to last at all. So, repaired the hinge, repaired the switch, replaced the push cable. I'm not going to latch that closed. I'm going to kind of leave it this way. So then you have your 2 button controls. As you can see, that was reverse, and so this one would shoot it forward, which I don't want to do too much of. And that's pretty much it. Let's put this back on. There. Now I should be able to hold this with one hand. So you can see there's the forward, where it's wanting to shoot forward, and there's your reverse. So the other problem I had in here was, even after I had repaired everything in the battery box, replaced all of the push cables for the steering, the motor still wouldn't run. I'd already checked the continuity on these original wires, which run all the way from the remote to the car, and the wires themselves were good. So that brought us down to the motor. Fortunately, with this motor, you can see right there, there's a little opening. So I was able to get in there with a contact cleaner and a little bit of oil for lubricating the ends of the shafts and everything, and got the motor running back again at 100%. So there you have it. There's an inside view of your Astro Boy Jeep. Sometimes you call them Atom Boy, but I believe in this particular case, this toy was called Astro Boy. I couldn't find a definitive date on when this toy was originally sold, but I'm going to assume in the 1960s, just by everything that's on here. And I believe it was made by Bandai in Japan. So there's your rare, and you can even fold the screen down, Astro Boy. It even says Willie's in the front, looks like. Or will be, is that an X? So instead of Willie's, it's Will X. At any rate, I think that's about it for this video. Perhaps I'll do a short of it running around on the floor when it's all put back together.